This is The Good with Dr. Joe. We welcome you to our show today, and let's give a big welcome to Dr. Joe.
Hello, Miss No. Thank you so much. This is Miss Pat No, the one and only. Welcome to our podcast. It's The Good with Dr. Joe. Right now is 11. No, it's not 11. It's 12 noon Eastern.
You're an hour short.
It's 9 a.m. Pacific. And what's happening in London, England?
I think they've got a beautiful day in Wonderling at 5 o'clock.
We can't get our words out today. We can't get our words out today. Anyway, welcome to our podcast. And thank you for joining us.
And we've not been drinking.
Well, I've been drinking water.
Yeah, water.
I've been drinking.
Yeah. Water.
Yeah, water.
And don't anybody complain about my water.
No, come on, man. Come on. You gotta chill out a little bit, All right. So today we're starting a 2-part series today. A couple weeks back we talked about marriages and how to keep marriages, and there's been a lot of interest. A lot of people have been calling. Hey, people ask questions. We want to know more about marriage, and then also knowing that summer is the season for weddings. I already have 3 invitations.
Really?
3 invitations for weddings.
Why do you think people wait for summer?
Oh, well, they wait for summer because number one, a lot of schools are out. Out.
Yeah, that's true.
And most wedding parties want to have children, be in the wedding thing and so on and so forth. And then number 2, summer, a lot of people take their vacations.
That's true.
Summer, And then number 3, the weather also. The weather is also better.
Well, not only that, if you want an outside wedding, a lot of people now are marrying in beautiful gardens.
Yes. So those are all the considerations that people, choose summer, to do their wedding. So a lot of weddings going on, a lot of preparation and so on and so forth. So we're going to have a 2-part series on weddings, marriages, relationship, how to make it work, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to be talking about some of the basic reasons that people want to get married, good or bad reasons why people want to go into weddings. Now, next week we're going to be having a special guest. We're going to be having a guest, Miss Veronica Lovely Fix. She is been married for 34 wonderful years, and she is married to a Caucasian man. So she is an African American married to a Caucasian American.
And you know what that produces?
What?
Beautiful children.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, when you mix it up, the children are beautiful.
Absolutely. I really, really can agree with you more on that. So we're going to be talking about intercultural marriages. And we also have sometimes where our military, they go overseas for service, like in Japan, like in Asia, Asia is Japan is in Asia, Africa, Europe, and then they bring wives from other culture. How are they making it work? When you bring a woman or a man from another culture, and you bring it to American culture,
it's difficult.
Yes. So what are some of the things that you can do to make it work? Also, you have marriages between classes. You have people in one socioeconomic class, and then other people in another socioeconomic class. How do you make it work? So those are some of the stuff we're going to be talking about next week. But today we're just talking about generally ideas about what people look for in marriages, good or bad. Now, you can catch us on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube. We are on Apple, Google. We're actually on a lot of social media platforms. So to find us, just hashtag The Good with Dr. Joe. That's how you get us. We try to provide information about what's good, about everything that's going on. We try to provide you good information. All right, so we're going to start with Ms. No. So Ms. No, what do you got to say?
Well, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the best thing about being married?
I believe that the really best thing, best thing. Yeah, one is companionship. That's what you want somebody to talk to, you want somebody to share good times with, you want somebody to share bad times with. You also want somebody to be there, to hang out, to that's what I think. What do you think? What's
That's
number
about,
one?
that to me, and I'm old enough to know because I've been married and I've been single, living alone. So to me, the best thing to for being married is the companionship, and I think the best life you could have is to grow old with someone, because when you get older, the companionship means more to you than when you're younger.
Very, very true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very true. And I believe that we, as human beings, is it Homo sapiens? Is that what you call them? That's the scientific name for it. Homo sapiens. You see, Homo sapiens. It has S. S meaning plural. We were not created to be alone.
No. God created us to be social people.
Yes, we are social people. If you look at animals, animals work together in social. They create their own social environment to work together. So we can't condition ourselves to live alone.
No, it's not good.
We have to get our mindset into a point where we're in a community, whether a community of one or a community of plenty. Is very, very critical.
Because it's already been proven that loneliness can cause a lot of illnesses.
Yes.
We were talking about, you were talking about when two people are anticipating to marry, you said there's 10 questions they need to ask each other. And I made a little short list here,
Yes.
and probably you have some on your list.
Yes.
And I thought one of the most important things to discuss was if they both want children.
Yes.
And if they do, then how many?
Yes. Yeah, I believe that now we may be able to get to all the questions today. We may not get to all the questions today, but we're just going to take it one at a time. But I believe, the question about children, that's a very, very important question. Now, one thing that most people want to get into marriage want to do is that they have to be able to spend time with each other, getting to know more about each other. And how you do that is by asking questions. Everybody was watching the news at, what's the name now? The singer, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod, the baseball player or ex-baseball player, just broke up. Now, a few weeks back, that was like the only thing on the news. Everybody was about Jennifer, about A-Rod, and so on and so forth. How they're going to get married, how the whole world, all the problems in the world is going to be solved because these two people are coming together. Now, one of the hype, and this is part of the problem that marriages have, all this hype, all this work up that you put into it, sometimes it's not really very, very necessary. So this is why you have to ask yourself the question, what is the reason for this relationship? What is your primary reason for going into it? Is it what people are going to say? Oh, that's the most perfect marriage. Oh, they look good together. Oh, they look cute together. Oh, whatever. All those are just by the side. All this is by the ways. One of the main questions you want to ask yourself in a marriage is no. Before you go into marriage, what is your number one purpose? What's your number one objective for going to marriage? Now, for the man and the woman, there may be two different purposes.
Let's hope so.
It may be the same, it may be different, but you have to know. That's the number one question. Go ahead.
You know what the number one cause of divorce is in the United States?
No?
Money.
Money? Okay.
Now let me tell you the second one.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is just as important as money. In-laws.
Yeah.
Cause a lot of divorces.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So knowing that relationship is not guaranteed. There's no marriage that is guaranteed.
See, for me,
yeah.
If I was anticipating marrying some man, even at my age, we'd be discussing money.
Okay. All right. So that's that question. Let's take it one by one. One by one. We're jumping. Let's take it one by one. The first question is to find out what is the purpose. A lot of people don't say a lot of purpose. Now let's talk about some of the reasons why people go into marriage. Number one, people going to marry sometimes because they want security.
Yeah.
Like from the woman's perspective, I want to get a man.
A lot of men want security.
Yes, and a man wants security too. That's it.
That's
Financial security, emotional security, physical security, and even future security.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason people go into marriage. Number 2, to have children. People just love kids. And
to have legitimate children.
Yeah, to have legitimate children. Yeah, they want to marry.
There's a big difference.
Yes.
Today we have a lot of children, but they're not all legitimate.
Yes, to have legitimate children. Yes, that would be one good reason why people will want to get into marriage.
Children work better if they got support of 2 different people.
Correct. That's absolutely true. I mean, research has already proven that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, some people get married, did we mention companionship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, companionship is that. So what do you think are some of the reasons why people get married? Whether good or bad. Some people get married just to have sex. They want that booty.
Well, I mean, not necessarily to have sex, but they get married to have safe, continuous sex.
Yes.
I mean, it's safe. They think it's safe.
Yeah.
And it's already there and available whenever you get ready for it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier than going out and trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find it, you don't know how healthy it's going to be.
Where it's been, yeah.
But anyway, so they get married for sex.
Yes.
They get married for money.
Mm-hmm.
And they get married.
There's that popular movie about green card. Some people even get married to get. Well, that could be classified as security. Get married to get green card.
That's right, because I agreed to marry a guy once so he could stay in the United States.
You see?
Because back then, this was back in the 70s, he was Japanese, and he didn't want to go back to Japan. And back then, if you married an American, you became an automatic citizen.
It's still the same. It's still the same. It's still today. It's just that sometimes when people commercialize it, then it becomes a little bit of an issue. If people commercialize it. So we're just talking about different reasons why people go into marriages.
And I think maybe somebody that's lonely and has no family, is totally alone in the world. A lot of times they look for somebody to marry that has a big family.
Yeah.
So they can have a family.
Yeah. So for the social value and the social components that come with value, that come with marriage, because when you're marrying somebody, right, you're actually connecting with her family and with her friends. So you now have a larger.
Well, families are very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Absolutely.
And you need to meet the other person's family and get to know them before you marry, because families can break up your marriage.
Yes. So that brings us back to some of the questions that you should be asking. So we already talked about number 1, finding the purpose. What's the purpose? Like I said, we already mentioned a couple of reasons here why people get married. Some are good, some are bad. So it depends on different individuals how you say. So the first question: what is the purpose? What's the reason why you want to get married? That's number 1. Then number 2. What was the number 2 question?
Children.
Children.
If you want to have children, and how many, and
you want to discuss this because children brings a lot of different dynamics to the relationship.
Well, I mean, how awful it is to get married and live with somebody a year or 2 and then find out they don't want to have children.
Yes. So that's why you discuss it. And you also discuss the possibility that you may not even have children. So that doesn't become a deal breaker. So some of the questions that you have to ask. Yes, go ahead.
I did this little story. I was with this young couple one time years ago, and they were. She said something about she wanted to have children.
Yes.
And they were already married.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I'm not having any kids."
You see?
And she said, "Well, that's okay. When I get ready for a baby, I'll find myself a daddy."
You see?
And that shut him up.
You see?
Yeah, but see, they should have discussed that.
See, that is why you must discuss that. So we discuss. Then number 3, one other thing you also discuss is that, are you both prepared? Both of you prepared to go through pre-marital counseling?
Well, now, for me, number 3 would be the money. Show me the money, honey.
Okay.
That old movie, Show Me the Money. But yes, because Okay, let's go back to the big I here.
Okay.
I would not want to marry a person who was a spendthrift.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
And I don't want to marry somebody and find out I'm working and trying to do this and save money and that, and he's spending every dime he gets his hands on. Now, we got trouble right here in River City.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this money's very important.
So yes, I do agree with that. You have to discuss your plan for money, your cash flow vision. What's your vision for cash flow? And cash flow is the amount of money coming in and the amount of money going out.
Right.
Where do you intend to get money from? How do you intend to get your money? And how do you intend to service some of the various financial commitments you have? This is where the idea of also discussing your existing financial
Right. You know, if somebody owes about $20,000 on credit cards, honey, you don't want to marry that man. No, because that's just trouble.
Okay.
That's serious.
Yeah. This is where the issue of also credit also come in. Do you think that credit should be discussed prior to marriage?
Oh, yes.
A lot of people don't think that.
Oh, that's a big thing. That'll bury a marriage.
Yes. A lot of people don't think that. And that is why sometimes you get into it and you find out that, oh, this guy credit is zero. You can't get anything. You can't move anywhere. It becomes a big problem. Now, I think the other thing you also want to discuss is if there are any future financial agreements you already made. You know,
that's a good one. Yeah.
I think that needs to be put on the table prior to actually getting married. All right, what else you got?
I think these are all really important. I think anyone anticipating marrying should have a pre-marriage counseling.
Yes. Yes.
You know, a good marriage counselor can bring things to mind that we never think about.
Yeah. Yes. Here's the reason why you do, because a lot of people skip it. Here's the thing. Because they are madly in love. Please, it is not a good thing to be madly in love. Because when mad comes before anything, the other half of it is always not good. Don't fall in love. Miss Snow, when you fall in love, you know, you have fallen a couple of times.
A few.
Yeah, a few times. There's nothing good that comes. I'm sorry, call me old-fashioned. There's nothing good that comes from falling.
Oh, true. That's true. That's true.
You know?
But the most important thing is to like a person.
Yeah.
If you like a person, you can tolerate a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So the love that you have, instead of falling or being madly in love, start from liking and then grow your like from liking to loving. So that is likely to weather through a lot of situations.
See, I think with counseling, now this is just my opinion, okay? I think with counseling, you can find out if you love someone or if you're in lust. I mean, a lot of people mistake lust for love.
Yes.
And lust will burn itself out.
Yes. That's a big difference.
And I think counseling can help determine that. Maybe it can bring it to the surface of your mind sometimes.
And that's, I think one of the other things I also want people to also discuss your future goals, your future plans. What do you want to do? If somebody, say, for example, you want to join a band, that is your dream, your lifelong dream, is to join a band and play, that's a musical band, and play music around the country. And your partner is a homie who wants to stay home.
Yeah, a partner's a root.
With a partner. And so those are some things you got to have to discuss and agree with before you move forward. Because marriage is about what you agree to do.
How you want to live your future.
Yes. And that's why when you go up to the altar, they ask you the question, do you? So you are agreeing to do this. Marriage is actually a contract.
Oh, sure.
You know? Sure. So that is why a contract has all types of, what do you call it now? Clauses. You know, that you have to fulfill your part, he has to fulfill his part in order to make it work. So our people, please, today and next week, we're going to be talking about marriages. We're going to talk about relationships, especially next week. We're going to be talking about intercultural, interrelational, inter-religion, cross-culture, marriage and stuff like that.
Did we have time for me to say this one thing?
Right, yeah.
Is selfishness. If the person you're marrying and their wants and needs are not more important than yours are to yourself, then you shouldn't get married. Because you're supposed to be more considerate of their wants and needs than you are yourself. And if you're not, the marriage isn't going to work.
You see,
it will not work.
You see, you raised one point here because somebody we're talking about A-Rod now, and somebody was saying that part of the reason why the relationship broke down was that A-Rod appeared to be a little more controlling. You see, when you're controlling, you are not taking, just like she said, you are not considering the other person's want.
They don't come first in your life.
Yes, they have to come first in a relationship. When you yield, I think we talked about this last time. When you consider the other person's need first, and the other person consider your need, it is a lot easier for both of you to work together than you stick it to yourself. I give for example now when my wife was pregnant, I always made a joke that whoever carried the baby for 9 months has the first right to name the baby. That's what I say. Whoever carried the baby for 9 months have the right. See, I was technically yielding that what do you call it now? The ability to name the baby to her. And guess what? She also yielded to me.
Yeah, because that baby's carrying your blood.
You see what I mean? So, but a lot of men will come in, hey, that's my baby, I'm going to name the baby. You see that, So
and that ought to be decided before the baby's born.
That's part of the thing, That's part of the thing you discuss. Okay, when you have babies, how do you see babies' names being created? Because hey, I've seen some names and I want to take off running.
I've seen names I can't even spell when I look at them.
Yes. Where did these people come up with these names for these babies? And if the babies can't even pronounce the names.
Well, true. Are they ashamed of them when they get grown?
Yes.
They go to court and have them.
Yeah, they get older and then they said, no, I don't know, maybe my mom was drinking. There was actually one show on TV one day and the lady said that the mom was in jail.
Everybody in jail named the baby.
When she had the baby, and she doesn't know. It's like they just came up with plain Scrabbles or something like that, and just came up with the names based on the Scrabble, and that's how they got the name. Scrabble. So part of the decision you have to make is that once you decide to have children, come up with an idea of how to name the baby. Who's going to name the baby? Is it the in-laws? Is it you? Is it the man? Is it the woman that names the baby?
I say you do it together.
That's the goal.
The baby belongs to both of you.
Yes.
Both of you choose a compatible name.
And I want to encourage the men to yield a little bit to the women because the woman has a very, very personal connection to the baby. That's what I feel because the baby's always going to carry the father's last name. Your name's going to be there one way or the other, So chill a little bit. There's a couple that almost broke up their marriage just because of trying to find out what to name the baby.
I've heard of that before.
So please take it easy. All right, it's time for us to go. So join us next week. We're having a special guest next week who is an interracial couple. Is that what to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be hearing from them how cultures play into marriage, how different religion, class, how does that help or hurt marriage. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. Join us next week on Instagram live 12 noon Eastern. Thank you so much for joining us today. See you again same time next week. Check out our YouTube page, like our videos, subscribe and share. Thank you. See you later. Last words.
Bye-bye.
Hasta la vista.
Au revoir.